Hi, and welcome to Rest Stops, short features to encourage you toward greater life balance. My name is CJ, and here's my dad with today's Rest Stop.
Hi, and welcome to the Rest Stop. My oldest son CJ and I meet each Tuesday for dinner and coffee. We usually eat at our favorite place to get Peruvian chicken, and then after dinner head a few doors down to a coffee shop in the same plaza. It's a special time each week to spend father and son time together, talk about work, life, challenges we are facing, and time to just hang out together. I look forward to it greatly, and we rarely miss. Last week, we arrived at the restaurant. The weather was horrendous. It was cold, very windy, and it was pouring down rain. We finished our meal and started out the door, intending to quickly run the couple hundred feet to the coffee shop to avoid getting too wet. As we exited, we were met by an elderly gentleman who asked if we had any tools. His hand was bleeding. He explained that the trailer he was towing had a flat tire and he was trying to dislodge it from the car hitch. He had a pair of flimsy needle-nose pliers and was getting nowhere and ended up cutting himself. Unfortunately, neither CJ or I had any tools. He began to walk away disappointed and thanked us when I remembered I did have a pair of vice grips in the car, which he said would work perfectly. I'm very protective of my weekly time together with my son and could have just given him the vice grips and allowed him to fend for himself. But that's not how the store's family men roll. For the next 20 minutes, in a driving wind and rain, CJ and I helped this elderly gentleman. We got the bolt off the hitch, but then because of rust, couldn't get the trailer dislodged. We continued to push and pull and pry, using a tire iron, and finally lifted the trailer off the tow hitch. The next thing I know, we're in the middle of the storm, hugging one another in jubilation, giving each other high fives. We had conquered the tow hitch as we did our best Tim the Toolman Taylor impersonation. Har, har. The look on this stranger's face was one of sheer joy. We were tired, soaked, and sweating, but it felt exhilarating. My son and I decided, wet or not, let's go have our coffee. Simultaneously, we invited our newfound friend to join us and bought him a cup of coffee. CJ and I began asking him questions about his life's journey. We huddled around a table sipping our hot coffee. His name was Captain Rick. We were mesmerized as the captain shared his life story with us. Found out he's 80 years old and had lived an incredible life. From his time in the Navy to his lengthy career as a designer that helped companies use their space more efficiently and effectively, to his entrepreneurial adventures, improving on existing inventions, especially in the area of energy and maximizing energy output and efficiency. It was a fascinating conversation. The Cap was a master storyteller. Before we knew it, over an hour had gone by. And as we wrapped up our time, we looked down, and there were literally 3 puddles of water beneath us as our soaking wet clothes began dripping on the floor. We were so engrossed in our conversation we hadn't even noticed. We exchanged contact information and concluded our time in prayer. Captain Rick was convinced that God had provided 2 angels to help him in his time of need. Afterwards, CJ and I both concluded that this had been an awesome adventure. Our time had been interrupted and didn't go at all the way we thought it would, but we were given a God moment to be the hands and feet of Jesus to a stranger. Many of life's most enriching moments and experiences occur in the midst of interruptions. How do you handle unexpected interruptions in your day? Do you get frustrated, angry, aggravated that your schedule and plans have been thrown out of sync? You know, you never know what's going on in another person's life when God puts them in your path and you are given the opportunity to interact with a fellow human being, to touch and impact their lives. Isn't that what life is all about? Pardon the interruption. Thanks, Captain Rick.